This is Jennifer Sias, and I'm vodcasting from the campus of the University of Charleston in West Virginia. Just across the river from the state capital of West Virginia, Mountain State residents packed a rally at the UC campus to support candidate Anne Barth. Before the speeches got underway, I had a chance to talk with a few participants at the rally. Listen to Richard Henderson explain how the current state of the economy is influencing his thinking.
Well, if you really enjoy what's going on with today's economy and politics, vote for Shelley Moore Capito. If you want sincere change, somebody's going to help us, then there's only one vote left.
Nick Chancey from Ripley, West Virginia, is sold on Anne Barth.
What would you tell your fellow voters about Anne Barth to convince them to vote for her instead of Shelley Moore Capito?
I would tell my fellow voters that Anne Barth clearly shows that she is more interested in the voters of the 2nd Congressional District of West Virginia than Shelley Moore Capito is. She said it constantly at speeches and rallies, and I think that she would do a much better job of representing us.
Joe Payton, a letter carrier, is convinced that Anne Barth is the candidate who cares about working people.
Okay, Joe, tell me why you're here today.
Well, I'm here to support Anne Barth because we're hoping to change things in the Congress of the United States and lean more towards working people, and we know she's that type of person.
Given our country's current economic situation, what do you think Anne Barth might be able to do to help our state and maybe the country overall?
Well, I just think that Anne has some ideas that need to be brought to Congress, and obviously the folks in there now need some help, and we think she's the person that can help us.
And just like Joe said, Anne Barth is the candidate who talks about the needs of working people and the need to change Washington.
Polls show that 81% of Americans think the country is headed in the wrong direction. And elections are always about keeping the status quo or creating change. George Bush and Shelley Moore Capito represent keeping things the way they are, the status quo. Well, if the financial market meltdown doesn't worry you, then you might be okay with the way things are going in America. And if you or a friend or a family member aren't bothered by stagnant wages and a weakening dollar and ballooning mortgage payments, then you're probably okay with the status quo. And if you're not sure just exactly how many homes you own, you're probably okay with the status quo. But if you're among the 81% of Americans who think that the country has gotten off track, who think that Washington only represents Wall Street and not Main Street, and who believe that the American dream is slipping out of reach, then you can vote for change this election.
Hello, man.
And I want you to know that my campaign is about change. Now, my opponent takes money from giant financial firms like Washington Mutual, Citigroup, and Countrywide Financial, while banks are foreclosing on homes and parents can't take out loans to send their children to college. Mrs. Capito takes money from giant oil companies like ExxonMobil, while average people struggle to pay for a tank of gasoline and make ends meet. My campaign will not take money from big oil companies. I grew up in a minister's home. We were not wealthy. Every dollar mattered. I attended public schools, and I was raised in a tradition of public service at home. I understand the hardships that West Virginians are facing in this economy, and I've worked on issues like these for over 20 years alongside my mentor, Robert Byrd, Jay Rockefeller, Alan Monahan, and Nick Rahal. And Senator Clinton, I look forward to working with you to help our fellow Americans. I will go to Washington and vote to put Main Street first by protecting American taxpayers, exercising oversight over Wall Street, and ending huge payouts for corporate executives. I believe in protecting Social Security. My opponent has voted against protecting Social Security from privatization.
Boo!
Can you imagine what would have happened with this financial market meltdown if our Social Security dollars had been trapped in the stock market?
Oh my goodness.
I believe in keeping jobs in America instead of shipping them overseas. We need good, homegrown jobs with strong wages and health benefits that put to use our greatest asset, the American workforce. If you believe this district could use a representative who stands with you all the time and not just at election time, and who has experience in Washington getting things done for the people of West Virginia, then I'm your candidate.
This is Jennifer Sias, vodcasting from the Anne Barth rally at the University of Charleston.